Welcome back to the Click Down. I'm your host, Steve Beals, and today we're going to dive into a little bit of a discussion around HDX audio. I'm being joined today by Bjorn Paulson, who is a product manager here at Citrix, and from what I hear, a very avid surfer. Bjorn, welcome to the Click Down.
Yeah, hey Steve, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, so my name is Bjorn Paulson. As you mentioned, I'm working as a product manager here at Citrix for the DAS team, and HDX audio is one of my focus areas. I've been with Citrix for 10 years now. I've been in a few different roles, but throughout my career, I've always focused on the customer experience and looking after what are the top issues our customers are having, and then just worked with multiple teams to get those solved in the product or in our documentation. So when I joined the PM team a couple of years ago, I wanted to continue this focus. So this really has been an important area for us here in the audio domain. We want to innovate, but we also want to improve on the performance to make sure that the quality for our end users is the best that they can have.
Awesome. Yeah, and honestly, over the last couple years, I know, and really in no better terms, HDX audio has really been transformed, right? There's been a lot of changes to both the codecs and network protocols. Can you expand a little bit on some of that innovation and, kind of jump into how we improve the audio performance?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We are strongly invested in improving on the audio experience for end users. So this is either if you're listening to music or if you're communicating in real time. And over the years, we have addressed a lot of the different use cases that we see that our customers are having. It could be that Citrix is powering a soft phone system in a call center, or it could be a doctor that relies on us while dictating notes when meeting with their patients, right? So for all these use cases, it's just crucial that the audio quality and the delivery of the audio is just very reliable. We know a lot of these use cases could have challenging network conditions, or maybe the person is roaming between wireless access points. So we really want to make sure that we have a good solutions for that.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I know from a user perspective, right? Going back to my time when I was, in the admin roles before I came to Citrix years and years ago, audio was always something that, we struggled with. But thinking back to those times, I mean, how times have changed, right? It's like the experience now it really is like having a local desktop, and that audio experience is there. So it's really great. We've come a long way.
Yeah, it's a great point you're bringing up about the experience, because that's another use case that we see over and over again. Customers are really using their use cases they use multiple audio devices, right? And they're asking us to meet with those. So we're focusing on bringing the solution closer to a laptop experience. So really, you can have multiple devices, and the volume control will just behave like a normal native experience.
Yeah, and I know we introduced adaptive audio, some time back, and speaking of like experience and everything, what did that bring to the table and really enhance our end user experience?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, right, in the past, first of all, we used multiple different audio codecs for the different use cases that we're having. So we had one for real-time communication, we had another one for music, and the admin really had to think about this, set up policies, and really take into consideration what they would be the best strategy for their users. So it always has been a little bit tricky. And both these codecs, there had their pros and cons, but ultimately today they are really legacy, and neither the audio quality or the performance is really that great of today's standards. So back in 2021, we introduced a much more modern codec. We call it, like you mentioned, adaptive audio. this just performs much better. It can achieve a better compression and really has superior audio quality compared to the older legacy ones. And adaptive audio is basically made up from two codecs in itself. One is designed for real-time communication. The other one is for music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we will adjust in real time based on your conditions. So, for example, if you have very low bandwidth, adaptive audio can perform very well. So, really designed with real-time communication in mind. But when it comes to music, we're also meeting that use case there. We're able to deliver music with the same quality that you would expect today, like similar to what a streaming service will offer. So you really get the best of both worlds.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Yeah, and what about on the configuration side? Because I know you even mentioned it in the past. There was multiple virtual channels, and administrators really had to tune things. What about with adaptive audio? Is there anything that they need to do with any Citrix policies or anything else?
Yeah, so that's really the benefit here. There's really no configuration needed, so no guesswork. Adaptive audio policy is enabled by default, and you don't have to think about quality or any bandwidth constraints. It just works out of the box. And so should really be the default for everyone moving forward. We have made several improvements over the years since this was released, and we will just continue to optimize it to meet our customer needs moving forward.
Awesome. And, so I understand that we're, also coming with some improvements around real-time communication use cases. We have a release coming up in 2402 for an EDT loss tolerant mode for audio. Can you explain what that protocol offers and then what challenges it addresses?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so today we have a lot of customers. They have presence in many parts of the world. They might be based out of Europe, but they have a lot of their end users are working remotely. They might have call centers or contact centers in another geo. It's all going over the gateway back to their data centers back in Europe. All these types of conditions could be subject to like really harsh network conditions,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is something we hear about all the time. High latency is always a problem. We can also see packet loss. And for these customers, they know that all of this will impact the audio quality, and sometimes it could be a really negative impact on the quality. So what we wanted to do, we really want to improve on this experience for this use case. And you'll probably be aware we have our own proprietary network that we call EDT, or
Mm-hmm.
Enlightened Data Transport. Yeah. It's built on top of UDP, but the benefits, it really works much better when you have challenging network conditions. So we decided actually to leverage EDT for our audio delivery. And this is now a feature that we call EDT loss tolerant mode for audio. And it really, the benefit for our customers is that it provides a much better experience and audio quality when you have packet loss or high latency. And we are really excited about this feature, and really want to recommend all our contact centers customers to try it out. It is currently in tech preview now with our 2311 release, and as you mentioned, this will go GA in 2402. So
yeah, it sounds exciting. What obviously, moving to 2402 and is going to be one of the requirements. Are there any other requirements to use that feature, and how can customers go about configuring it if they move to 2402?
Yeah, great question. So it will be configurable via policy. It will be turned off by default. Mm-hmm. We're going to let the admin decide when it's needed, but we recommend having it enabled for external users as well as for the remote sites. And the requirement for external users today is that the gateway service is required, but we're also bringing this to the on-prem gateway now in 2024.
Awesome. And so I know that our customers, they have configurations where they're using multiple devices for different sessions, maybe different purposes. Have we made any improvements in that area?
Yeah, definitely. So one improvement that we have made is that now we support multiple devices inside of a session. If you remember, we only used to support what was the default device on the endpoint. So you would see the audio device called HDX audio. If you wanted to use another audio device, you have to change it on the endpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But now all the devices that you have connected to your endpoint will be available with their actual names. So that means that you can log on to a session, and if you have multiple devices, maybe you have a set of speakers that you want to listen to music on, but you also have a headset when you're doing a video conferencing, for example. So now you can change that inside of a session, which is really helpful.
Yeah, it makes life a lot easier, right?
Oh, definitely. What we're also bringing out now in 23.11 is that we will also sync the default device from the session into the client. So what this means is, for example, you're working in your session, you're using a specific audio device. You might log off of a session or disconnect from the session. You go to lunch, you come back. Now we will actually retain all the settings, so you can just continue your work. So this is really a really benefit for our customers, much better experience when they reconnect to their session.
Definitely. What about volume sync? Because I know in the past that was a request from a lot of customers. Are there any updates around that?
Yeah, you're correct. This has been a customer pain point that we addressed. So yeah, previously, if you change the volume inside of a session, it wouldn't necessarily update the client and vice versa. So now the volume from both sides are in perfect sync. So this even includes the volume level meter, right? So this is really an improvement that our end users really will appreciate. I think like you mentioned, this has been asked for over and over again. So really excited that we have that.
Yeah, that's great. And these, a lot of these improvements we're talking about, we know that they'll hit the Windows client, but what about on the Linux and Mac clients? Are we going to see some improvements there as well?
Yeah, definitely. So our focus is really to have full feature parity across all our clients. So this is something that just moving forward, we will always make sure to try to release it at the same time. So now both in the Linux client and the Mac clients for 23.11, they will have these features that I have addressed today. Some of them are in tech preview, but some of them are actually G8 now. So yeah, all our end users, no matter what client they use, should be able to benefit as long as they stay up on the latest version.
That's great, because I know sitting here looking at my desk, I have multiple clients, so it's good to know, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are there that now. So, when we talk about the VDA side, obviously, we know from telemetry that Windows is still our most popular VDA, but Linux VDA is gaining traction there, right? We have a lot of customers who use the Linux VDA. What about some progress there for audio? Are we making any progress on that end?
Yeah, for sure. Like you mentioned, we have a strong user base on the Linux VDA, and of course, a lot of ask for latest features. So we're making sure that we're adding all of this to the Linux VDA as well. So we will see the loss tolerant mode, the device management that I mentioned, the volume sync. All of these features are in the works, and they will be delivered during 2024. So again, just make sure that you stay on the latest releases to get all the benefits and innovation that we are working on.
Yeah, 2024 seems like it's going to be a pretty big year for audio, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about this audio troubleshooting tool? I saw this the other day. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, and really what the use cases people can use it for?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So audio quality issues, audio issues that our customers are, engaging with our support on, it could be really hard to troubleshoot, especially for self-service. And identifying the root cause could be really be time consuming. There's really no logs exactly that will tell you what that you have
Mm-hmm.
poor audio quality or performance issues. And just to add to that, a lot of our customers are using some type of third-party software solution, which they integrated with Citrix. So that could also introduce their own issues, right? So overall, it is a little challenging to troubleshoot. So earlier this year, we released the Citrix Audio Diagnostics tool. It's a really great tool that can help you identify configuration issues, what network transport you're using, or for audio, or how the policies are set up.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually also added test call functionality, and this is specifically to identify issues if you're using a soft phone system, right? So in a call center, for
Yep.
example, if they're having issues, you can use this tool to determine, is this problem with the actual Citrix session, or is it a problem with the phone system itself? So I think this could really shorten the time to troubleshoot and diagnose when you have an audio issue. So that's really exciting. We have a long roadmap for this tool, and we're constantly adding more features to it. So just encourage everyone to just download it and use it for your audio needs. We have multiple customers who provided us with great feedback. They're very happy to have all this information in front of them that they necessarily didn't have in the past.
Another tool I wish I had in my toolbox 20 years ago, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. So I know we're seeing also a lot of change in the unified communication landscape. So is there anything going on in that domain around audio and delivery of audio?
Yeah, definitely. So we do have a product that we call the UC SDK, or Unified Communications SDK. This is something that we offer to our technology partners. And when you're using this SDK with our product, we see that the customers can get an optimized audio and video experience, I
Mm-hmm.
should say. So what the optimization means really is that we take the audio and the video rendering and have it done on the endpoint. That means that we're freeing up the VDA from the resources on the VDA is freed up, and this really helps with improving the audio and video quality experience. Everything is done on the endpoint, which usually is a little more powerful, right? And today we're supporting some of the largest unified communications partners out there, and we are constantly working on adding more and more to our portfolio. So really good progress there.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I think I know on my end, I definitely want to learn more about it. So might be another podcast episode for us here.
Yeah, absolutely. Then definitely we should do that.
Yeah. So that's all the questions I had today. I mean, definitely got a lot of great information. I think we're definitely seeing a lot of progress with HDX audio and everything we're doing there. So I really appreciate you joining me today. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be delivering in 2024, and it seems like we have a pretty good roadmap there.
Yeah, I would say HDX overall, we have a lot of great innovation coming out in the new LTSR. We are really excited and really encourage all our customers to move to the next LTSR to make sure that they can benefit from all the innovation that's been happening the past couple of years.
Awesome. So I guess with that, I'll go ahead and close things out. And thank you, Bjorn, for joining me, and thank you everybody else for listening. And as always, this has been the Click Down.